Tav X, Hebrews, purity and becoming one. How do we become pure? We talk about it at the beginning. At the beginning of every single live stream. There's only one way to become pure. You must turn to the Most High and Him only. Some people call Him Yahweh. Some people call Him Yahuwah. Some people call Him Yah. Some people call Him the Most High. Some people call Him the God of the Old Testament. Every single person knows exactly who we're talking about. That's the entity that we serve on this channel. That's who we worship, okay? The Most High God, the one in the Old Testament. Because of these times that we are living in, it is very critical for you to actually put on your spiritual thinking cap and to be able to know what you're looking at. We are in times where the ability to decipher what is going on is paramount because, like I said, we living in those times. If you make the incorrect move, it could be the end of you, okay? And since I am Mr. Real Talk and I am your brother, and this is your go-to YouTube channel for brotherhood, sisterhood, and an attempt at righteousness, I'm always going to try to warn my brothers and my sisters from impending doom and impending destruction. And that is what every single person out there, younger or older, man or woman, that's what everybody's going to be facing out there if you won't stop serving other deities, other gods, idols. You need to stop and quit today while you're still alive, okay? Because you don't know what this day holds for you at the end of it. None of us do. That's why we do as good as we can right now. Make right now count, Hebrew. And you can start by hitting that like button on your way in the door if you haven't already. And you can also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And welcome again to this channel if you are somebody who is new, a new person, a man, woman, boy, girl, teenager, young person, old person, middle-aged person, whatever. Like I said again, I'm your brother, Mr. Real Talk. And I know we got new people that show up all the time, right? A lot of times they don't say nothing. Sometimes they do. If you want to say something and let yourself be known, you can go ahead and check in the live chat. But definitely hit that like button on your way in the door. And we always got to wait a few minutes when we start going live to see if any of the brothers or sisters are going to get the notifications, because YouTube does not like sending out notifications to this kind of channel, because they don't want Old Testament only worshipers and followers to come together, because YouTube knows when people like us come together, we emit and we let off a certain kind of energy. YouTube doesn't like that. They actually want to discourage that. And so to help achieve their mission, they don't send out notifications, which is why we always got to wait a couple of minutes when we start going live. And it's no different today. So hit the like button on your way in the door. And that's what time it is. To let us know what kind of time we living in. All bets are off, y'all. Anything can happen. Anything that you can imagine can happen. I'm talking your worst nightmare. You heard what that guy said? Or did y'all forget just that quick? Did you forget just that quick what that guy said? Did you forget just that quick what that guy was letting everybody know what could very well happen and what is going to happen? Maybe we got to run it back one more again. Maybe we got to run it back one more again. Guess what? One more time for the road. We're going to run it back. Tessa says, thank you. We got Jesse Goodwin in the house. What's going on, Jesse Goodwin? Jesse Goodwin says, all praises to the Most High. Great day, Mr. Real Talk. Great to be on the chat. Well, brother Jesse Goodwin, it's great to have you in here, brother. And it is a great day. Yes, it is. All praises to the Most High God. And we glad to have you in here, brother Jesse Goodwin. Hope all is well with you, fam. You, Mr. Real Talk, Tom X family, all praise to Abba Yah only. Thank you, Tessa, y'all, and thank all of the family for being here. I'm going to run it back one more time. Y'all hit the like button, Hebrews. We going to bounce. King David says, facts. Why I look at different translations and about to one translation because it's popular. Different books have a real better meaning to it. Yes, King David. This what we doing today. And we can see they were trying to hide the fact that giants are coming. Most people don't even believe the giants are real. But if you would read the book of Enoch and the book of Giants, you would know that. Instead of listening to the Catholic Church, don't read this, don't read that. But you're going to find out. You're going to find out the hard way. Peace out. And forgive me for that, Sister Jessie. I apologize, fam. Brothers and sisters, I had it incorrect. Jesse Godwin is not brother Jesse Godwin. This is Sister Jessie Godwin. My bad, Sister Jessie Godwin. I got you now, sis. Got you locked in up here. Sister Jessie Godwin. Thank you for letting me know that. And so I know how to address you properly. And so everybody else will as well. Appreciate that, sis. Hey, and also let me know in case I'm tripping, right? Sister Jessie. Now, I believe that I've seen you in this live chat. It's been a while since I've seen you, I want to say. But I believe I've seen you in the live chat more than once before. You let me know if I'm incorrect. And I know this cannot be your first time in here because I definitely believe I remember seeing you multiple times. It's been a good while, but I believe it's been multiple times that I've seen you in here in the live chat before. But out of my curiosity, let me know if I'm correct. Have you been in here on the live chat before like I believe you have? Or are you going to tell me that today is your first time in the live chat? Which I will be shocked because I could swore that I've seen you multiple times before. And we got Sister Von Seal Sanders in the house. What's going on? Sister Von Seal Sanders says, great glory, family. Brother Real Talk. Sister Jessie's last name is pronounced Goodwin. Oh, okay. Okay, bet. You know what? I'm sorry. I must have been calling her Godwin. My bad. I've been butchering Sister Jessie's name all up. My bad. Sister Jessie Goodwin. I got you. Sister Jessie Goodwin. I got it now. Appreciate that. And shout out to you, Sister Von Seal Sanders. Von Seal Sanders says, great glory, family. Brother Real Talk. Sister Jessie's last name is pronounced good equals win. And that's a good last name, too. Goodwin. Jesse Goodwin says, yes, sir, you have. Okay. I didn't think I was that crazy. Shout out to you, Jesse Goodwin. Von Seal Sanders says, yep, you got it now. That's right. And I appreciate you, Sister Von Seal Sanders and Jesse Goodwin and everybody else out there in YouTubeville, YouTube land. And y'all know we always got to wait a couple of minutes, right? To see if any brothers and sisters going to make it up in here. But this is what we reading out of today. Okay? And you going to hear from the horse's mouth right now. No, I don't do witchcraft. Okay? Because people are out there saying all kind of crazy crap. I've heard all kind of stuff. I'm a sorcerer, a warlock, a witchcraft, and all this kind of foolishness. Hell no. What I am doing is doing my best, and I'm breaking my back to go back to the old ways. Okay? And what are the old ways? Believe it or not, casting lots is part of the old ways. Okay? And if you actually read in the Old Testament, you see our ancestors were doing something called righteous divination, believe it or not, and casting lots is a form of righteous divination. There's all kind of different forms out there, okay, of righteous divination. You can't have evil divination without having righteous divination. no more than you can have hot without cold. Just like you can't have in without out. Okay? You can't have east without west. It's just not possible. You can't have good without evil. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but hey, we deal with reality over here and we're going to bring it out. Von Sil Sanders says, your elaborate talk regarding giants was excellent. Hey, Von Sil Sanders, all praises to the Most High God and Him alone. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of times I can't even believe that the Most High God is allowing me to meet brothers and sisters like everybody that I'm meeting these days online. And I feel privileged and honored to be able to know Sister Von Sil Sanders, Sister Jessie Goodwin, and all of the other brothers and sisters online that I've met. Even though right now we're not in the same place, I feel like when we link up on these lives, it's almost like we're in the same house. We're in the same backyard or basement or living room or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take that for granted. I consider myself to be very blessed to be able to be around y'all, and the knowledge that the Most High God has given all of us, and our ability to share that with each other and to receive and share. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. And it's also an eye-opening experience to what kind of world and realm we actually live in. Thank you again, Sister Von Sil Sanders, for that uplifting and encouraging comment. Jessie Goodwin says, all right, Mr. Real Talk, that's what I'm talking about. That's right. That's what we getting into, y'all. We're going to be going into chapter 7, y'all. I'm going to give it like another minute or two, and we're going to get started. Hit that like button on your way in the door. Peace out, family. See right now.
Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified.
Whatever it is, 80% of the national population being affected. Can you imagine that? 80%. That's the whole damn joint.
This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified, or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified airborne, classified airborne, classified flesh eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified through their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said.
Did you hear that? Their enormous size and otherworldly strength. I bet you didn't think stuff like that really exists, did you? Things that have enormous size and otherworldly strength. We deal with reality over here, no matter how scary or painful or ugly and gruesome it is. You can't change what's real. That's why we deal with reality.
And or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified through their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified through their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified through their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should event occur in urban areas, Jesus.
Terrified. sure
surpassing
is.
our darkest nightmares. Far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed, classified body disposal actions shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified underground, classified protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your votes. Let's go ahead.
I'm telling you, you better get ready. You better get ready. You better get ready. Now, right now, what you can do, you can get your favorite drink, your favorite snackarooski, okay? Get whatever you got to get, you know what I'm saying? And we getting ready to read. Von Sanders, or Von Seal Sanders, I'm sorry, says, I was speaking with Sis Jesse earlier about how the creatures have stolen, hidden, and altered our records. Your book should prove interesting. Yes. You know what? I'm seeing more and more every single day just how much everything that we've been taught is majority lies, the majority of it. Concerning all things, like particularly what kind of earth we live on, what kind of planet we live on, what kind of creations that we are, human beings, whatever you want to call us. We have been lied to about exactly the earth that we live on, what kind of place that is, and we've been lied to about exactly what kind of beings that we are, things that come natural to us. But when you've been tricked for so long, it's like this: like if you really are an eagle, but you've been raised amongst cows, cows can't fly. Since you came out the womb, you were an eagle, but they always had you around cows, and they told you that you was a cow. Even though you are physically an eagle, that eagle would not be able to fly if he was only raised around cows who can't fly. And they all telling him that he's a cow. It's a program. So then when somebody comes along and tells him, hey, you know, you actually an eagle, he's like, what's that? What's an eagle? Never heard of it before. So it sounds strange. And they're telling him, hey, you can actually fly. It sounds strange. Just like if somebody was to actually tell us the truth about what we are and who we are and all the things that actually can be done by human beings. Many of the things, many of you would say is witchcraft, even though it's not. Because the Roman Catholic Church has done an excellent job in spreading lies and pointing the finger at everybody else for spreading lies, when they have been the father of lies. They've scared you away from reality. They've scared you away from the truth and made you accept their lies. They made you afraid of the Most High God in a way that you shouldn't be. Because you're supposed to fear the Most High God above all things, but not in the way that many of our people do. Many of our people, you're so afraid of him, you don't want to go to him. You don't want to commune with him and connect with him. Many of our people are like that because they're petrified because of all of the lies. But we shaking all of that off over here. We ain't afraid no more. The only thing we need to be fearful of is the Most High God himself. Long as we fearing him, serving him only, and doing our best to keep the commandments, it ain't no need to be afraid of anything else. And many of us, like I said, because of what church has done, we don't have the ability anymore to think for ourselves because of the fear factor. Do you realize that your thoughts have power? Your thoughts have physical power. And you know what? Yeah, I'm telling you, you can actually, depending on what it is, right? You can get a physical result from your thoughts. That's what I'm telling you. And you know what? Trust me, I know somebody out there right now saying, witchcraft, sorcery, because the Roman Catholic Church scared you. The whole time, real witchcraft and real sorcery is when you go into church and you praying in the name of another deity. That's real witchcraft. When you're drinking blood spiritually in the name of JC, in the name of Christ, the only begotten Son of God, brother. It's holy blood we're drinking. That's real witchcraft. But because many of our people just don't know because you've been petrified, and I don't fault you for that because that's what happens when you go into captivity under wicked beasts like the Roman Catholic Church. They do shit like that to you. So now when you see brothers and sisters like me and others out there who are trying to wake you up so you can begin to come out of the fog, you point the finger at me and other people and say, oh, you a warlock, you a witch, yada, yada, yada. You don't even know anything about physical science. Most people don't even know a thing about the physical body. I ain't talking nothing spooky. I'm talking about who you are, your arms, your legs, your brain, your spirit. Most people out there don't even know that your thoughts, you can actually produce. And I'm not going into all that right now because that's not what this video is about. But I'm just saying, because this is real live, real stuff. A human being's body is made in a certain kind of way. We have electricity in our body. You know what that means? Electricity is literal physical power. That's why sometimes when you go and try to open up a door, sometimes you might shock yourself. If your body was not already filled with electricity, that wouldn't be possible. Your body is a high conductor of electricity because you have electricity inside of you. Let that sink all the way in. That means you got a spark inside of you, physical power inside of you. And that's going to be even more crazy because I'm just thinking about this particular part as I'm talking with y'all, but it's real. You got that inside of you already. You think that if you and I can't learn to control our thoughts, because your thoughts got literal power. There's a charge to your power. There's a charge to you on the inside. You can't see that electricity, but you know it's there. Like I said, that's why you shock yourself sometimes. If you can learn to control your thoughts and focus your thoughts, you think you can't do something with that static, that power that causes you to shock yourself sometimes? See, I'm making somebody out there think about something right now. I'm just thinking about this right now as I'm talking to y'all. You know why? Because it's something that all of us have inside of us. Witchcraft, where the hell you get witchcraft at? Did I tell you to call on another God? Everything we do around here is in the name of Yahweh and Yahweh only. Some people call him Yahuwah. Some people call him Yah. You get the idea. We don't do witchcraft over here. We don't do witches and warlocks over here. One thing we do understand, though, one part of our, because there's many parts to it, but one part of our walk with the Most High is the power department, which we have been extremely lacking in. There's not a Hebrew Israelite out there among us who we can see openly out there who has any kind of power. Now, I'm not saying that they're not out there, but here's what I'm saying. The fact that we don't see it out there let you know there's a problem. Most Hebrew Israelites, the majority of us, are absolutely powerless. And it ain't supposed to be that way. Especially when you turn to the Most High God and Him only, we're supposed to be like the prophet Micah. Micah said he was filled with power. Yeah. Let me read this. Sister Von Seal Sanders says, it appears as though an apocalyptic society is on the horizon for the Gentile nations. Yes, it does. We speak on regaining our superpowers a lot. It reminds me of the movie Lion King. Little Lion was eating grass. Hey, Von Seal Sanders, yes. Yes. And it's funny that you bring up the Lion King. I was at the 9-to-5 Babylonian slave house the other day, and we were talking about Lion King at work. There's a lot of hidden messages in that Lion King, Sister Von Seal. Just like what you just brought out right there. He was out there living like Timon and Pumbaa eating maggots and worms and all that other stuff because he had no idea what he was. Or he was running from reality, like many of our people. Family, we got 10 people in here watching right now. Get those likes up, Hebrew. Not because you like me, but because you like the truth and you like reality. Even though I know a lot of people gonna be in here, they ain't gonna like this live stream right here. This particular topic has caused many people to abandon this channel, okay? To abandon the brotherhood and the sisterhood over here on this channel. This very topic we talking about right now, righteous divination. Even though there's not a soul out there that can disprove what we saying, righteous divination is all through the Old Testament. We've proved that on multiple occasions. That's why the Old Testament is actually undefeated, because not one of you out there can disprove a thing that we saying in regarding righteous divination. All you can do is pout your lips and fold your arms, which mean nothing. Not one of you out there got any scripture to combat what we saying. That's why you just sit back in the cut. We got 10 people watching, only 5 likes. Because there's 5 niggas in here right now that's saying, he wicked. They wicked. Ain't no divination. But you can't post the scripture to back it up because we shred you to pieces. We've done it several times on this channel. We went live and put everybody to bed. We made people shut their mouths because emotions don't matter on this channel. I'm telling you right now, I don't give a damn about my own emotions when it comes to truth. I am not going to spare anybody. That's a dangerous thing sometimes, even to me, you, whoever it is out there, when you bringing out these scriptures. Sometimes when you reading these scriptures, the scriptures are a double-edged sword. So as you are reading, the reader is getting cut as well. I don't give a damn about my own emotions. I'm not going to care because niggas don't like righteous divination. Who cares? I know I don't. I deal with reality. And the reality is your feelings don't matter. Isaiah 58:1, is it not, I believe? Cry aloud, spare not. I think that's where that's at. So I'm not going to tone it down. Ain't no such thing as divination. Prove it. And not one of you has been able to prove it yet. That's why a lot of streams like this, even especially on the playback, it ain't going to be no comments in the comment section on the playback because it ain't no rebuttal to what we saying. Righteous divination is a full throttle. It's a full go. Don't give a damn if you don't like it or not. If you don't want to unsubscribe, go right ahead. It ain't going to stop righteous divination from being a thing. Righteous divination was a thing for thousands of years, millions of years. I don't know. You ain't going to change that, and neither am I. If you don't like it, tough. Who cares? I know I don't. I don't care at all. I care about the truth. If you don't, no problem. No problem. I ain't going to hold it against you because we don't do that over here. But I don't give a damn if you want to hold it against me. I don't care. We want the truth over here, and we're going to get it. Lynn Israel says, Shalom to you all, and all praises to the Most High Yahweh alone for this day. That's right. Shalom to you, Lynn Israel, and shalom to all of yous out there. Much love to each and every one of yous. I love y'all so much. And I do believe y'all can feel the love because I got a ton of it, and it's only for y'all. I don't love this world. I do not. Von Seal Sanders says, we are wonderfully made and returning to the fullness of who our sovereign creator us to be. It's awesome. Our thoughts are powerful and we are being restored little by little. All praises to the Most High. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes. And I'm telling y'all, this is why YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications, y'all. Because like Von Seal was saying, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm telling you, most people could not handle the truth of reality about what kind of earth that we live on. This earth ain't nothing like what they told us. You and I Human beings, we ain't really nothing like what they told us. Okay? If you actually knew the things you could do, if you only knew the things you could do, maybe you try to do it. Like I said, you were born an eagle, but you were raised with cows since you came out of an egg. And they told you, hey, you a cow just like us. You can't fly. That eagle is never going to fly. And if he does even talk about thoughts of flying, those other cows are going to say, witchcraft, ox, sorcery. How dare you? That's what's happening with the human race. Can't make none of this up. But we get ready to start reading, y'all. Let me read the rest of these comments and then we're going to read. Von Steele Sanders says, Shalom, Sis Lynn. All honor to our sovereign alone. Alone, family. That's right. Melissa Yisrael says, greetings, fam. Nice to see you new sisters. I'm wondering how you all found this channel. All praises to the Most High God and Him alone. I always be wondering that too. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. The Most High is circling the wagons. And Von Sil Sanders says, greetings, sis Melissa. Newly awakened, hooked me up. That's right. A shout out to the brother newly awakened. And you know what, y'all? Anybody that's in here right now, whether you on the live or the playback, go over and subscribe to the brother's channel, Newly Awakened. In case you don't know, that brother is one of them ones. Okay? He's one of them ones. And remember what I told y'all, fam. All of us are one of them ones. I don't want anybody to get that misunderstood. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All of us are one of them ones. But even so, and y'all know I say it from time to time because it's true. Even though we are all one of them ones, even amongst ourselves, we got ones who we look at sometimes and we say, damn. Now that's one of them ones right there. Even amongst ourselves, even though all of us are one of them ones. That brother Newly Awakened is one of them ones. That's my whole point. And go over there and subscribe to his channel if you're not already. Yeah. Fam, I want to again welcome everybody here, because I know from time to time we got new people that pop up sometimes from a daily basis. We got Brother Chief in the building. Chief says hallelujah only. That's right. Shout out to you, Brother Chief. Always a pleasure to see you, brother. And hallelujah only. And now, family, we get ready to get into this reading. And I just rinsed y'all up. Jesse Goodwin and Von Seal Sanders, I just rinsed you sisters up. Let me see. You know what? I thought that I had already, hold on. I thought that I had already rinsed up Lynn Israel. Give me 1 second, fam. Okay. Then Israel, you are now rinsed up too. I try to get the brothers and sisters who I believe need to be rinsed up. I like to get those wrenches to y'all expeditiously. Okay. Sometimes I be forgetting because I got more than one apparatus, and I can only wrench people up when I'm on one particular apparatus. So got a lot going on right now, you feel me? Between apparatuses. But yeah. Brother Chief again says hallelujah only. That's right. Shout out to you, Brother Chief. Hope all is well with you. I hope all is well with all of y'all out there. Melissa Israel says, it's wonderful that Yah is gathering his people. Praise Yah. That's right. It's a very wonderful thing. Von Seal Sanders says, moderator, I am honored, my brother. Hey, Sister Von Seal, I'm honored to have you here. I'm honored to have all of y'all in here because you can be anywhere else out there doing anything else. And I could be out there doing anything else and anywhere else. But instead, the Most High put it on all of our hearts and spirits to come into kicking with each other right now for a while. And since we doing that, we get ready to read chapter 7 of Casting Lots. All right? That's what we about to do. Give me a second. I want y'all to hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button already, Hebrew, hit that like button. And share this video somewhere and subscribe. Chapter 7 is how to handle lots. And look, before I read that, because, I always like to give a biblical disclaimer, because somebody who always like to run their mouth out there will come across a video like this, then they'll try to lie and say I'm a sorcerer. I'm trying to tell people to do witchcraft and yada, yada, yada. So check this out. Biblical disclaimer. Joshua chapter 18 and verse 10. And it reads, Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there he divided the land to the Israelites, to each tribe his portion. What did it say? Joshua casted lots and he did it before Yahweh. That seals it, okay? That seals it. And we've destroyed this myth that you can't use righteous divination. Casting lots is a form. Righteous divination has multiple forms. And casting lots is one of them. Just like the Urim and the Thummim is one of them. When Moses was using his staff to do all kind of wondrous things is one of them. When Elijah called down fire from heaven, it was one of them. One of the forms of righteous divination. Okay? Y'all better stop playing out there and stop letting the Catholic Church run you off of your own birthright. This is getting to be ridiculous. Chapter 7, how to handle lots. And right now, I'm going to pause on reading the comments, right? But of course, you brothers and sisters, you can comment away all you want. Once I'm finished reading, I'll come back and I'll read if there's any more comments. But right now, I'm going to pause on reading comments. And I'm just going to read so we can get through this, all right? And I thank you in advance for just being here. Because like I said, y'all ain't got to be here. And I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. Chapter 7, how to handle lots. Here we go. Some traditions hold that objects used for divination may never be touched by anyone other than the seer. In this, we differ. If you have a newly made set of lots that you are using for the first time, you must be the first one to handle them apart from whoever made them. Thereafter, as long as their attitude is respectful and they have asked for permission, which you can give or not, anybody you choose can be allowed to hold or touch your lots. This is because in our AMHA tradition, lots do not absorb people's energies. Lots transfer only the energies from or to powers. Who can use lots? This bears repeating. Anybody respectful and willing to learn is welcome, regardless of what other spiritual tradition they may follow. We do ask polytheists who revere powers from other pantheons to not call on them when using Hebrew lots. You can call on ancestors, we all have them, or on local land spirits, or on no specific power at all if you prefer. Now, listen to this. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm telling you. I didn't write this book, right? Just like I didn't write the Bible. But I know that some things in there are true and some things in the Bible are lies. How do I know that? Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 8 tells you the lying pen of the scribes. So they lied in the Bible. That means, guess what? All the other books that you read, there will be lies in there too. And I'm gonna say, I gotta pause it right here and tell you. You see this thing right here saying, what did it say? You can call on ancestors, we all have them. I'm gonna tell you not to do that. Around here, everything we do, we calling on Yah or Yahweh and him only. And we'll let Yahweh delegate who he decides to send. Look, I just felt my joint rumble right now. And no coincidence when I said that, my little phone rumbled and it's 5:55. And it's 10 people watching, 10 people liking. Look at all of that. That's righteous divination right there. Because it was sound confirmation even though y'all couldn't hear it. I guess my phone must be on silent, but it vibrated as soon as I said what I said. It vibrated and it was 5:55 and I saw 10:10 in here. Can't make none of this up. Why am I saying all of that? To let you know there were lies in the Bible according to Jeremiah 8:8, and we just read one right here. This thing said you can call on ancestors, we all have them. I'm telling you, you better not call on nobody but the Most High God and him alone, or you run the jeopardy of being brutally, viciously killed. But you a grown man and woman, if you want to call on your ancestors, I can't stop you. But I am telling you not to do that shit. Yeah, if somebody else want to tell you, hey, that's okay, you go ahead and let them tell you that. I'm telling you, don't do that shit. Okay? Whatever we do, any kind of ritual you engaging in, any kind of divination you engaging in, it better be in the name of the Most High and him alone. Like I said, if he decides to send somebody else to answer you when you call, then so be it. Let him delegate that. I'm not calling out to Michael. I'm not calling out to Gabriel, even though I know they are righteous and they exist. I'm not calling out to them. I'm calling out to Yah only. And guess what? If he sends Raphael or one of the millions of other angels to show up, then I'll deal with him. But I'm not calling out to no invisible deity. None of them. Not one of them. Not calling out to no ancestors. None of that shit. Now, I'm sure there's somebody out there who will tell you, oh no, Mr. Real, you don't understand. I don't want to understand. I'm not doing that shit. And that's why I had to slam the brakes and tell you, you better disregard this shit that we just read, calling on ancestors. Okay? We got Brother Chief again, says Shalom chat. Shalom to you, Brother Chief. We got King David says 100. Anything outside of that is dark magic, no matter how you slice and dice it. That's right, King David. Let them know, bro. Let them know. Tarbex to you, King David. Chris Charles says, big up, my brother. Well, big up to you, my brother, Chris Charles. Shout out to you, Chris Charles. Chris Charles says, Yah alone. That's right, Chris Charles. And shout out to you, Chris Charles. I don't believe that I've seen you in here before. I could be wrong, but I believe this is my first time seeing you in here. And if you've been in here before, my bad for not recognizing you, but I got you now, Chris Charles. I'd like to officially welcome you to the channel, brother. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Chris Charles says, I sometimes wonder why they evoke this ancestor bullcrap. Yeah, me too, Charles. Me too, Chris Charles. And then I know because they want to lead us off. They want to have people getting spiritually attacked by otherworldly entities and disguised into this ancestor stuff. I'm not buying that ancestor shit. I'm not buying it. Chief Angelo, he says, yes, I love to see us together on Yah only. That's right. King David says, no add-on, folks, or no trying to be slick, calling on anything and using Yah as a cover-up is wickedness also. Can't play with the Most High with them slick games. That's right. We got Brother Chris Charles says, I follow you, brother. Watching from across the pond, he gives the black power with the Jamaican flag. Hey, Brother Chris Charles, shout out to you. Big up to my brother from across the pond, my brother from another. Shout out to Chris Charles. That's why I say I love the brotherhood and the sisterhood. I don't give a damn where we at. We all over the world. We scattered into all nations, calling ourselves all kind of different names. Calling ourselves all kind of different names, which is, again, more easier for our enemies to have us fighting each other. Well, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Whole time, we all the children of Israel. No, he's from over there. No, she's from over there. No, that brother's from over here. We all the children of Israel, and we in all nations, all over planet Earth. And somebody's going to pay for that. Yes, they are. And that's why they're so petrified of us coming together under y'all only right now. Jesse Goodwin says, clapping emoji. That's right. All praises to the Most High God. Shout out to Jesse Goodwin. Shout out to Chris Charles, King David. Shout out to Brother Chief. Shout out to Von Seal Sanders. Shout out to Melissa Israel. Shout out to Jesse Goodwin. Shout out to Lynn Israel. I love y'all, fam. Y'all are the best. Now I'm going to read. I had to clear that up, though, to let y'all know. Jeremiah 8:8 told you they put lies in the Bible. Jeremiah told us that. Jeremiah 8:8. So, of course, regular books, they're going to put lies in there, too. Anything to get us to call on somebody else. I'm telling you, whenever we see something like that in here, that's how we know what we can do and what we can't do. Soon as somebody starts telling you to call on another invisible deity, you know, don't listen to that shit. That's called idolatry. I had to clear that up. Okay? So here we go. But each path has its own high beings and spirit forms. Each path also normally has traditional ways in which to interrogate them. It is best not to mix the traditions of one with the powers of another. We are in no way saying that if you are a polytheist, you should stick to one pantheon in your practices. As far as we are concerned, all roads lead to the powers who show us humans different faces. One should feel free to have however many pantheons one can handle or none. But since each will have traditional methods of divination and magic proper to their cultures, we think that it is polite and more effective to address a power in its own traditional divination language. Connect to Thor with Runes and to Asherah with lots. Key steps in preparing for lot use. One thing we know though, we only trying to connect to the Most High Yah. And like I said, just like in the Old Testament, the Most High, sometimes he would come through himself and show a vision or an image of himself, a likeness of himself. Sometimes he would send messengers. When somebody was trying to reach out to him, he'd be like, okay, hey, Michael, or Raphael, or hey, Angel, who I never told people what your name was. Go over there and tell such and such I said X, Y, and Z. Go over there and tell such and such to do X, Y, and Z. Go over there and let such and such know I'm with them and I'm giving them power to do X, Y, Z. I'll let the Most High decide who shows up when I reach out. You feel me? King David says, we are Israelite with different accents of the slave master. Hey, King David, that was said perfectly. Von Seal Sanders says, the lot is cast into the lap. Woo! But its every decision is from the Most High. Proverbs 16:33. The Most High alone shall direct our path. Yay! Hey, yo. Hey, Von Seal Sanders, shout out to you for that nuclear bomb of a scripture. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? I'm telling you. See, this is why YouTube don't like to send out notifications. YouTube is watching this live stream right now. certain powers that be, they're watching this live stream. I'm telling you, niggas out there in Rome, bishops and cardinals, a lot of them, you would be surprised, a lot of them know who we are. If you got channels in the Old Testament only space, a lot of those people over in Rome right now in the Vatican, y'all believe it or not, y'all, they know who we are. They know some of us by name. They watch our channels and everything. And you would never know. Of course, they're not going to comment on it. You never know. That is niggas over there in the Vatican, scared to death, watching our videos. They know some of us by name. A lot of us they probably know by name. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. Here we go. But since each one, here we go. Key steps in preparing for lot use. As mentioned earlier, there are differing ways to focus ritual intent and willful workings handed down from many different spiritual traditions. Here are some of the key elements that we think are helpful for achieving a successful lot trance. Because you got to remember this now. To everything, there's always an opposite. To a up, there's a down. To an in, there's an out. To a cold, there's a hot. So you got wicked use of casting lots, which would be the divination that the Bible is against. And then you got righteous divination. Also using lots, but using it in a righteous way. Can you see this, Hebrew? It would be no difference than Uncle Moses. Uncle Moses had a staff. He used that staff to do miracles, to do supernatural things. He was doing righteous divination. But somebody who does evil divination or dark arts or dark magic would take that same staff and they're going to do evil with that. Do you see that? I know you do. Kind of like what the Egyptians did when they battled it out with Uncle Moses. You had Uncle Moses and Aaron doing the same exact thing the Egyptians were doing. They had staffs. Only thing is they were on the righteous side. The Egyptians did the same thing. You see that? There's always an answer, whether it's a good answer or an evil answer. You see that? I know somebody out there sees this. As mentioned earlier, there are differing ways to focus ritual intent and willful workings, handed down from many different spiritual traditions. Here are some of the key elements that we think are helpful for achieving a successful lot trance. Whether doing lot divination, meditation, or magic, we think it would be useful to consider them. These steps are an overview, and the sequence in which they are done is more common sense and preference than it is specific order. It is a good idea to turn off all electronic devices. Do not answer the phone, email, or text while using lots, because it interferes with and disturbs the energy. Lot use means accessing one's sense of reverence for the ritual about to be performed and to the powers if you have called on any. Do you hear this? And of course we're going to be calling on a power when we're doing this. We're going to call on Yahweh. Do you see this? This is powerful, believe it or not. Connect to and gather soul psychic energy. Hold it together with your ritual will. Focus your ritual intention. Send that blended energy into the lots before casting or at the start of using them. Practice, practice, practice. Success, as in any tradition, will depend on experience. Do y'all hear this? Do you hear this? And don't you let no Christian or no Catholic scare you and think you can't do this. It was good enough for Joshua. It should be good enough for you and I. It's good enough for me. Chris Charles says, we are the biggest secret to the world, but their time is up. Yes, we know who we are, and that's a threat to their wicked system. They cannot stop what's coming. That's right. Let them know, Brother Charles. My brother from across the pond, let them know they cannot stop what's coming. And that has them petrified. There are many paths to learning how to enter altered states. See, understand this when we talk. This is righteous divination. Look, see, this is that part of the game. I used to talk about this like 2 years ago, way before I started becoming aware of righteous divination, even though it always existed, way before I became aware of it and before I became unafraid to look into it. I could always sense, and I knew there was a part of my walk, as many as other brothers and sisters, that was missing. And that part that was missing was the spiritual part, not the small part, the big spiritual part, the invisible part. Dealing with the spirit realm and the spirit world terrifies the majority of Israelites. They don't even want to discuss it. And so the mere thought of bringing up the invisible world, the spiritual realm, and any of its happenings, the first thing they like to say, witchcraft, sorcery, you a warlock, that's how scared they are. That's what the Catholic Church has done to humanity. But I'm not afraid no more. And it ain't just me. A lot of brothers and sisters are no longer afraid. The only thing we need to be afraid of is Yahweh. Some people call him Yahuwah. Some people call him Yah. You know who we talking about. As long as we fear him, serve him only, there's no need to be afraid of anything else. Now it's time to tap all the way in to realize exactly who the Most High is, realize exactly who and what you are, and realize what kind of earth that you live on. Realize that real science to most people looks like magic. You just don't understand it yet. So you call it magic. Not all, but the majority of so-called magic is only science that niggas don't understand. That's all the majority of magic is. And once you start doing stuff in the name of other deities, once you do stuff in the name of any deity that's not the Most High God, now you're doing sorcery. And for that, you are going to die. There are many paths to learning how to enter altered states, and beginners often wonder which one to choose. If you are new to this, there are excellent books that teach a variety of ways on how to achieve a meditative, shamanic, altered state of consciousness. Anyone can find a method and procedure that works for them and find the path on which the journey to be an otherworld destination and connecting to powers become possible. Do you hear that? Do you remember that scripture in the Old Testament where it says he was in a trance with his eyes open? Y'all remember that one? He was in a trance with his eyes open. And what did he see and say? He saw something that made him say, I will see my Redeemer, but not now. That's what he said when he was in I just can't think of his name right now. It's got my mind going blank. I can't think of his name. But he was in a trance with his eyes open. And he said, I shall see my Redeemer, but not now. He was seeing something in that trance. He was seeing and connecting into the spirit realm with his eyes open. He wasn't asleep. See, this kind of stuff, many of our people, you okay with reading about stuff like this as long as it stays in a book. But the very moment that activity like that tries to cross over into your physical realm, your life today, many of you run for the hills because you're terrified. And I'm not picking on you by saying that. I'm saying that to let you know that because it's true. You're petrified. And it's because you have been lied to and abused by the Roman Catholic Church to scare you off of your God, to scare you off of your power. And it's worked like a charm. I recommend Diana Paxson's book, Transportation, Learning to Navigate the Inner World, Wiser Books 2008, which is suited to people from any spiritual tradition. There are others on the market, though perhaps not as comprehensive or as deep. A question often asked of us in AMHA is, do the methods I have learned from this or that tradition work, or which works best? You may be able to guess what our answer is. They can all work. Most human brains function very similarly when it comes to the ability to reach trance states. What differs is culture and tradition, which is why we have ended up with so many different ways and different names for something that is ultimately the same neurological state. Y'all hear this? What is needed for lot trance is to use good methodology, to develop an understanding of the culture so as to acquire the maps for journeying the AMHA way, and most importantly, to be consistent in one's practice. Regardless of method followed, beginners attempting to reach the necessary altered state to do work must practice. Our neurological systems learn best through repetition. We recommend that a beginner take at least a few minutes daily to work on this. Working well with lots is the next section. Let me see. I don't know. We might not. I don't think we'll get through this whole entire chapter 7 today. But today is the first part. And the very next time I come on and go live stream, we'll finish up whatever we don't finish today. All right? So more than likely, the next live stream will either be on Monday or Wednesday. Whatever day that is, we'll come back and we'll finish this. Working well with lots is the next part. I have mentioned the important role of culture when doing workings with lots. This is why so much of our history and tradition is discussed in this book. Ancient custom is the source of the energetic charge carried by the lots and must be heeded if you can't get in touch with these energies at first. Don't worry, that is not unusual for the novice. It takes a while to get in sync with your lots and with the beings that speak through them. The language of lots. The lot language is Hebrew. Huh? No, Ak. No, Ak, you trying to be like the other nations, Ak. The lot language is Hebrew. Understand this, Hebrew. All of the other nations know more about you than you do. All of the other nations have stolen different parts of your culture. They've taken it and they've, how can I say this? When you dirty something, they've polluted it. They've taken all the things that were meant for you and they've polluted the hell out of it. Von South Sanders said, seeing a vision with his eyes open refers to Balaam. Yeah, there it is. You know how you got a name right on the tip of your tongue and you just can't bring it out? Yeah. And it's right there in the book of Numbers 24 and 17. Y'all, he was in a trance with his eyes open. He was in another state, an altered state, in a trance state with his eyes open. His body was there, but his spirit was somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you engaging with activity like casting lots, this is serious. This is righteous divination. This is spiritual power right here when it's done in the name of the Most High, when it's done before Yahweh. That's how Joshua did it. Joshua 18 and 10 said, Joshua casted lots before Yahweh. Casting lots is about your energy and your intention. I told you, your thoughts. Your thoughts got so much power, but nobody's ever going to tell you that. They're not going to teach you that. And these niggas out there that are going to tell you that I'm wicked because I'm telling you your thoughts have power. They're going to tell you I'm a sorcerer, I'm a warlock, I'm a witchcraft. That's what they're going to tell you. Was Joshua a warlock when he casted lots before Yahweh? I'm waiting for somebody to say that. They want to, But they know better than to do that, but they want to. Don't be surprised at some point if they come on here and say Joshua was a warlock, Moses was a warlock. Don't be surprised if they ever try to take that stance, y'all. Because they don't like the fact that we are getting warmed to this, that we are looking into this and we're finding things out. They don't like this, y'all. The lot language is Hebrew. And although you do not need to know the language to cast lots, you will, however, find that the messages and imagery are more vivid or colorful than what a Westerner may be used to. I told you, these people take everything from us. All the other nations take all our stuff, break it up amongst themselves, and they pollute it. Same thing with casting lots. Remember, the roots of this practice are in the ancient Middle East, where even to this day, people's speech is vivid and rich in imagery. Beside reading an answer, you may also see the meaning of your casting as it comes through in pictures, or hear it as words, or you may sense it, or all of the above. Whichever way, what is happening is that you are receiving energy from the lots. Are y'all listening to this? Are y'all listening to this? Chris Charles says, Deuteronomy 18:10, there shall be no found among you anyone who maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or who useth divination, or an observer of time, or an enchanter, or witch. Exactly. And look, this verse right here, Deuteronomy 18:10, that's the initial verse that brothers and sisters, as soon as they see you start talking about righteous divination, Deuteronomy 18:10, that's the very first verse that they like to try to bring out, right? And we've done multiple live streams on that, and we have shredded that to pieces over here. And this is how it always goes. They bring out that Deuteronomy 18:10, right? And then once I start piling on scriptures to destroy that, they go quiet. Because they can't believe the things that the Most High brings out to us. And he's showing us you got evil divination, then you got righteous divination. Prime example, Moses and Aaron against the evil diviners of Egypt. They all did the same exact thing, did they not? Did they not all do the same exact thing? Moses and Aaron cast down their staff, their rod, and it turned into a snake. Here come the magicians and the sorcerers did the same exact thing. There was no difference between what they did. Not at all. Yeah, I know. I'm glad you put that up there. Chris Charles says, but this is to those who like to evoke this ancestor crap. And I'm glad you're speaking on that too, because it's all connected. See, here's the thing. And also, it's for people who like to invoke that ancestor crap, which I see a lot of our people are out there trying to do that. Many of our people are doing that. And also, look, with this blood sacrifice thing. Because look, Deuteronomy 18:10 says, notice that's all in the same verse. There shall not be any found among you anyone who maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. What's that right there? That's how you know that there's a, like the sister's just saying, there's a yin and a yang to everything. Here's the yin to this. Anyone making their son or daughter to pass through the fire. Somebody gotta die. Bloodshed. Y'all see that? Human sacrifice or animal sacrifice, doesn't matter. Because you don't need any kind of blood. That's divination. That's an evil blood sacrifice. Anytime anybody's telling you that something gotta die for them, but not you, but some animal or some innocent human being, that is the divination that Deuteronomy 18:10 is talking about. Any blood being shed in any kind of ritual, Deuteronomy 18:10, somebody passing through the fire, whether you slitting their throat, passing them through the fire, it's the same thing. It's a sacrifice. And when people are doing that, that is divination. It's evil, but it is divination. Observers of times, enchanters, Those are the real witches, the real warlocks. And the yang to that would be the righteous divination side. Ain't nobody got to die. Ain't no blood being shed at all. No blood of no kind at all. And we ain't doing that crap like the brother Chris Charles talked about, that ancestor bull crap that a lot of you niggas out there trying to slip in under the guise of the Most High. No, we ain't calling on nobody else. I don't care what kind of ritual you doing, what kind of ceremony you doing, casting lots. I don't care what it is. If you start calling out to anybody else, you are doing witchcraft and you're doing idolatry, and you should not be surprised if the Most High takes your life. You shouldn't be surprised if he does that. Hey, and shout out to my brother from across the pond again, Chris Charles, for bringing that out. Hey, Chris Charles, we appreciate you for bringing that out, bruh. Chris Charles says again, but this is to those who like to evoke this ancestor crap. And there are many of our people out there trying this crap. You better stop. Von Seal Sanders says there is a yin and yang to everything. That's right. Chris Charles says you're on point, bro. Thumbs up. Hey, brother Chris Charles, you on point, and so is Von Seal Sanders, and so is everybody else up here in this live chat. And I know this is not a popular topic because, number one, most people have been terrified and been made to think we're not supposed to have any power. The prophet Micah said he was filled with power. And he was basically saying, if you a Hebrew Israelite, you serve the Most High only, and you don't have power, there's a problem with that. And Micah told us what it was. It was because the men of the Most High had went off serving other gods, lying to people. If the people give them money and what they want, they prophesy good things. The people not giving them money, they tell them bad things gonna happen. And so the Most High stripped them of being able to have divination. He brought darkness to the seers. Darkness, no more divination, no more visions. But Micah said he was filled with power. You know what that means, filled with power? He's letting us know he was ready to rock. Being filled with power, he wasn't talking about doing push-ups or lifting weights. He was talking about spiritual power, in which I see. Some of you out there might not see it, but I know you do. You just won't admit it. There's a lack of spiritual power in the nation of Israel. You don't really see anybody out there with it. Many of our people didn't even know that we were supposed to be able to have power. But now that we realize that, for many people out there, that's a problem. Because this is what they've been trying to stop all along, from us from connecting back to Yah only. And when we connect to Yah only, we will be able to view things and to see things and to do things that other people just can't do. Because they're idolaters. Okay? Again, beside reading an answer, you may also see the meaning of your casting as it comes through in pictures. Do you hear this? When you're casting lots and your energy is right and your intention is right, it's a spiritual connection. This is what you're trying to do. You are trying to connect to the other world, the invisible world. And when we cast lots, we're going to call out to him. We're going to call out to Yahweh. We're going to cast these lots, not trying to be secretive. We're going to cast these lots before Yahweh, the same way Joshua did. And guess what? It ain't no school to teach you how to do this. They ain't going to teach you this at church. Church will say this is witchcraft. You know who's going to teach us how to do this? The Most High God will make methods available to us. Y'all know y'all heard that saying before. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. For 2 years, more than 2 years, I've always said, when the spiritual things that we read about in the Bible, most of our people, they're glad to read about that. They're happy. They believe it. As long as it stays in a book. The very second that those same spiritual attributes start making their way into your physical life, Negroes run for the hills because you're petrified. That's the part that most people don't want to deal with because they're scared to death of it. We ain't afraid of that over here. We welcome that. We're looking for that. We're looking for the Most High. I want to be like Micah. I want to be filled with power. The things that are going on this earth, the things that are getting ready to come on this earth, I don't know about you, but I believe we all need to be filled with the power of Yah and Him alone, just like Joshua, just like Moses. See, you okay with hearing about your ancestors connecting to the Most High by casting lots like Joshua, by having a Urim and a Thummim, but you ain't okay with looking into doing it yourself, though, huh? Now I'm doing too much now, huh? Nah, no, I'm not. You are just afraid. And why do I keep saying that? Because it's a bad thing. You're running from reality. You're running from your God, and you're running from who you are. You are meant to be able to reach out and connect to your God. This is your God here. All these other nations out there, they connect to their gods, don't they? But you afraid. Here you are, you have the God of gods as your father. But you've let religion and church, they've done a number on us. And I was a part of it too. They've done a number on me too. There was a time where I would have been terrified of everything like this. But I was also a blood-drinking, body-eating Negro at that time. No more. Listen. Besides reading an answer, you may also see the meaning of your casting as it comes through in pictures. Do you hear this? Can you imagine meditating and praying to the Most High and casting lots before Yahweh? And you start seeing pictures and visions in your head? Can you imagine that? You start connecting and getting answers. I'm telling you, you may see the meaning of your casting as it comes through in pictures, or hear it as words, or you may sense it, or all of the above. Whichever way, what is happening is that you are receiving energy from the lots. How your brain translated for you in words or pictures or sensations really depends on your own cognitive style. That is, it will depend primarily on which of your senses processes energy best. There is no right or wrong about the shape the conveyed message takes. When the lots answer a question with a picture or story, slow down and ponder the details to best understand the meaning. If you hear it, really listen. Since lot work is done in a trance state, the more you practice going into that altered state, the faster and the easier the connection happens, provided your will and intention are focused and a state of reverence is there. Do you see that? Didn't I tell you? I told you your thoughts. I'm telling you, that's one of the biggest things. That's why even heathens out there are able to tap into their gods. They know things that you and I don't. I got a video coming up soon. We're going to watch this video together. God going into stuff like this we'll be talking about energy. Okay? We're going to watch that video soon. Here are a few other observations that are useful in preparing for lot casting divination, many of which also apply to lot meditations and magic. Lot answers can be startling. Lots are blunt in their answers and do not sugarcoat replies. If you are the seer, you are ethically bound to convey the messages as humanely and respectfully as possible. Before casting for another, explain that sometimes they will not wish to hear what the lots have to say and to be prepared. Do you hear this? When times comes for asking the question, the wording does not have to be totally precise. The asker must simply focus on what they feel they need. No matter the words used, even if they cannot be articulate, the Elohim will still know what is on their mind. Are y'all hearing this? Y'all ain't hearing this. If there is no specific question or you are not clear about what the question is because of this complexity, you can just ask to be told what it is that you need to hear. The, the current should know that they do not have to ask a question aloud. If they are not comfortable sharing what their concern is, tell them to think their question or to mask it a little to protect their privacy. Y'all hear this? See, y'all ain't ready. Some of you ready for this. Some of y'all might not be ready for this. It is also of value to know that the lots may not answer what the current asks, but instead tell what the other world entities think the current needs to hear. Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm talking to somebody out there. This is why sometimes the Elohim respond by addressing something entirely different from what was asked. We usually find out at some point, even days later, that there was excellent reason for them to do that. Hey, y'all. Now look, I see. Okay, look. Okay, we've been on here for like what, an hour and 20 minutes so far. Yeah, we not gonna read all of this, right? Here's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Okay, this next session right here is called The Steps for Casting Lots for Divination. We're going to read that and then we're going to pause, all right? And when we come back and finish it up, we'll be starting with interlocking powers. Right now, we're going to read this last section, and it's called The Steps for Casting Lots for Divination. Hebrew, I want you to hit the like button if you haven't hit that like button already, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Listen up. It is consistent with primitive magic sensibility that the description of any lot use should not be read as a series of sequential step-by-step instructions. With practice, one learns what sequence works best. We will share some experiences reported by practitioners. If yours is different, it does not mean that you did it wrong. Here is a broad outline of how most of us engage in lot use. We start by taking deep, calming breaths to aid us in reaching a meditative trance state. We dab incense oil on ourselves, on wrists, forehead, or back of the hand. We call this anointing. Do you see this? You read about this in the Old Testament, don't you? Do y'all see this? This is spiritual practice. This is the ritual right here, y'all. Casting lots is a spiritual, righteous ritual when you do it before Yahweh, like Joshua did. See, the Bible, the Old Testament just gave you the cliff notes. They didn't go into the details. Well, how exactly did Joshua cast the lots? That's going to be up to you to go out and do your homework. And if you want to know these things, you're living in a day and time when you can find out. Casting lots is one thing, but how did he do it? Well, it's up to you if you want to learn to go and dig. Look, same thing with Moses. Moses did all these miracles right with his staff. You say, well, how did he do it? He did it with the power of the Most High. Of course, we know he did that, but how? I mean, X, Y, Z, step one, step two. Did he just say power of the Most High? The Bible don't give you the exact details of exactly how he did it, because a lot of the Bible is cliff notes. And when you go deeper into other books, it goes deeper and gives expounding on that information. It's all kind of books out there. Even in the Old Testament mentions books. You be like, yo, where's this book at? They hid that book. Like Jasher, like Jubilees, like the book that has the acts or the deeds of David. Where's that book at? They hid those books Just like they always hiding stuff and they lie about everything. All right? We know that. It's up to you to search it out. How many of you out there have heard of the book called The Sword of Moses? It's all kind of books out there. And that book tells you, okay, he didn't just give that to Moses. That's the sword that he gave to Israel. And that's how Moses defeated the Egyptians. But everything ain't for everybody. Because most people, they don't believe that they're supposed to have power. So they're not going to have it. I told you, your thoughts play a major idea. Your thoughts play a major role in existence itself. Do you know that existence itself, reality, is consciousness? Your thoughts are a part of consciousness. You know your thoughts can actually shape consciousness. Your thoughts can have a physical effect on physical matter. I'm not going to go down that road on this live right now because we're about to wrap it up. But we're going to watch a video next week to go more into that. Here is a broad outline of how most of us engage in light use. We start by taking deep, calming breaths to aid us in reaching a meditative trance state. We dab incense oil on ourselves, on wrists, forehead, or back of the hand. We call this anointing ourselves. Since I know that, whenever I finally get my pair of locks made and I start doing locks divination, every time before I do it, I'm going to anoint myself with oil. That's the Old Testament way. Olive oil. Consecrated, set apart olive oil. It's a ritual in the name of the Most High and Him only. We call this anointing ourselves, since in our folk tradition, anointing opened eyes, that is, gave seers their metaphysical powers. Start looking into metaphysics. We prefer frankincense oil and or myrrh oil because they were in ritual use during ancient times, and their scents consecrated ritual spaces. If the place is safe from fire hazard and we prefer not to put perfumes on our skin, we can use incense or other resin that can be burnt on charcoal, or we can use both. But we make sure that we or whoever we are working with does not have a problem with smoke. Since the repeated use of specific scents creates a type of neurological cue, we encourage selecting one scent for each specific working. Say only frankincense for meditation, or only myrrh for light casting divination. Some people, however, use the same scent for both. Very interesting, especially since we know how the Most High God likes frankincense. Some of us use a variety of other scents, dedicating each of them to workings with a specific power. For example, lilac or attar of roses, or a scent of fruit for Asherah. Or if dealing with ancestors, it could be the jasmine scent that Aunt Sally used to wear, or the whiskey she liked to drink, poured into a little cup as a libation and later discarded. Some people prefer not to use any scents at all. Like I said again, disregard that bullshit, that ancestor shit. We ain't doing none of that. Lighting a candle, only if safe, can also be used to set the ceremonial space. We like those lovely little battery-powered candle lights, especially if we are traveling and doing the working in a hotel room. Ritual hand washing, with or without scented water, is another option. Do what works for you. You may pick one or several of these methods. However, if at all possible, we use the same procedure and ideally same sequence each time we do the same kind of light working. This helps create a ceremonial mindset, a ceremonial space, and facilitates a trance state. The next steps are essential, but they too are not listed in a precise order. For example, opening the lot bag can take place before or after the anointing or incense lighting, before or after the person we are casting for has asked their question, etc., etc. At the right moment, we open the lot bag or box. We take out the casting cloth, unfold it, and lay it down. We gently pour the lots from the bag onto the upper corner of the cloth. Which side of the cloth we do that on simply depends on whether we are right or left-handed. Some of us like to have on hand the symbols of the powers of which we are a devotee when lot casting, such as an Asherah tree or the picture of an ancestor we like to work with or simply wish to honor. If so, we set them along the top of the casting mat. This step is not a requirement. Sometimes, if the person we are casting for is from a different spiritual tradition, they may be more comfortable if we do not use the symbols of our own powers. Since we all have ancestors, they usually are okay with that. We ain't okay with that. And if you do, when you start casting lots, if you want to put up there the name of Yahweh, if you want to put his whole name up there, if you want to put the four letters, then you go ahead and do that. Because every single ritual, every single deed that we do, it's going to be in the name of him and nobody else. None of that ancestor bullshit. And yeah, I said ancestor bullshit. We ain't doing that shit over here. So if anybody's out there watching this video and you thinking about bringing that shit over here, you can exit stage left with that bullshit. We ain't doing that shit. Period. Give me 1 second. We are now ready to cast. We ask the current to focus on what they feel they need and then to ask their question. The other world entities of our tradition are not especially literally minded. So if our current question is vague or poorly phrased, it is of no matter as long as we as the seer have at least a sense of what the question is about. We can help rephrase it if we think it is necessary. Most often, the best question to ask is simply, what do I need to know? Do y'all hear this? We take deep, calming breaths and ask the Elohim to meet with us and answer. The energy will tell us when we can proceed. Do you hear this? The energy will tell us when we can proceed. We gather the lots in the corner of the casting cloth into a small mound without looking at them. If we are using a scent, we usually smell it at this point, and at any time we need to boost our energy. Still without looking, we take 3 lots from the pile, toss them on the cloth, then order them in a line. Now we can look at them and turn them face up if needed. We always read the line of lots the way Hebrew is read. That is from right to left. As we do that, we look at each lot and say in our mind what each symbol represents. If we know the little poem for each by heart, we recite it aloud or in our mind. But even just reminding ourselves of what the meanings of each lot is will keep our lot reading grounded, preventing lost focus and or flights of fancy, which can easily happen in a trance state but can blur answers for even the most experienced lot caster. While this is going on, or before, or at any suitable stage of this working, we have been connecting to and gathering our soul energy. We have gathered it in focused ritual, will, and intention. Most people start their casting by doing this first. What happens next is described differently by different practitioners. Many of us begin to expand our energy outward, past our skin and farther out, which metaphysically builds the passage to that liminal other world meeting space where powers who help us will manifest. Some lot casters speak of this as building a bridge to the Elohim. By continuing to breathe deeply and evenly and maintaining focused intention, we maintain that bridge. Didn't I tell you your thoughts got power? Didn't I tell you that? Some of us report that they feel their own gentle but powerful push outward change to a gentle, powerful pull. They're called from the other world. Many say that this pull is what sustains them on the way to the liminal space. Even beginners who have never felt this before usually know not to be afraid. Reverence protects us as does our intention, which is ritual. We can remind ourselves that we are doing this either to help ourselves thrive or we are helping another. At some point, we are there. We feel the power or S powers. We know them to be present. Can y'all hear this? And look, there's only 4 people in here right now watching. I'm not surprised. This is not for everybody. Not everybody is a seer. Not everybody has the desire to connect with the Most High in a way that most people cannot. It's only for a handful of us. That's why it's only 5 people in here right now. This is not for everybody. Doing divination in a righteous manner is not for everybody. This is literally scaring the hell out of the majority of our people. And I understand it. I don't knock you for being afraid because I understand why you're afraid. But times have changed drastically. There are those of us who are not afraid at all. The only thing I'm afraid of is Yahweh and Him alone. I ain't scared of nothing else. Ain't no need to be. It is not necessary to identify who they are, though some lot casters prefer it. Sometimes we will sense or see or feel their identity. One or more of the Elohim or ancestors or spirits of the land, or any who would like to offer their support. We have learned that most often the powers who turn up to offer answers or guidance are the asker's own ancestors. But sometimes we only know a power is present for the ritual of lot use. That it is enough. When the questions are being answered, the part of our soul that remain in the here and now will begin to speak the lot reading. We easily know when the powers are gone. We easily know when the powers are done answering. The connection fades as their desire to offer answers is nearing its end. When we have completed the reading, we ask the person for whom the casting was done if they wish to have anything from the message clarified. If so, we can usually do that without the need to cast again, just from the energy that surrounded the original casting of lots. Do y'all hear this? That's why you better not be calling on no other deity when you're doing something like this. But if there is a need to cast again, the lots that were used for the first reading do not need to go back on the pile with all the others. They are set aside somewhere on the table or cloth. We pick 3 new lots from the pile and cast again. If no clarification is needed, the lot casting is done. So we say the casting is closed. This is a ritual sentence that gently brings down the energy and helps us return fully to the here and now. At some point during this final step, we thank the powers that have helped with the lot casting and given us answers. Then we put the lots back in their bag. The lot casting session is over. Sometimes the person we cast for does not like what they heard and wants to keep on asking in the hopes of getting an answer more to their liking. Resist the temptation to do that. The Elohim have no objection to a question being asked twice to clarify the earlier answer, but they really dislike being nagged and will rapidly become snippy if you persist. Ultimately, As the seers, it is up to us to decide whether to cast a second time for the same question. If necessary, we will politely tell the current no. If we know we are one of those people who cannot say no, we don't cast lots for others. Do you see that? Anybody out there, if you do decide to go down this road of casting lots, if you are one of those people who can't say no to people, don't cast lots for others. Just do it for yourself. Sometimes after closing the casting with the sentence, this casting is closed, but before we have put the lots away in their bag, the person we are doing the working for asks if they may ask an entirely different question. In that case, all 22 lots go back on the pile as before. We mix and stack the pile, draw and cast to get an answer or answers. When done, we thank the powers again, say this casting is closed, and replace the lots in their bag. By tradition, we are allowed at most 3 questions from the same person during one lot casting session. Experience has shown us that if we try to ask more, the powers usually decide they have had enough and the energetic connection fades quite quickly. It is best not to immediately give a casting to another person. You need to be sure to give yourself some time to rest your mind before resuming. Getting up from the table and taking a few steps away from the chair may be all that is needed, or going to get a drink of water. Traveling to the other world can be more tiring than you at first realize. Did y'all just hear that? When you casting these lots, you're traveling to another world. The spirit realm. The realm, and that's it for today. But that realm that I tell you that the majority of our people are petrified of, that's where you go when you know what you're doing and you start casting these lots. Because you are doing divination and it's righteous. And also, earlier this summer, me and 2 other people, you can see the video, we went to the end of DC, the border of DC, aka the borders of Egypt. That's why it's a pyramid on the back of your $1 bill. We went to the border of Egypt right here in the DMV, Washington, D.C., and we placed a witness stone right there. You know, that is righteous divination, what we did, because we used an object. And you know how Hebrews are. As soon as you use any kind of object, you can't do that. That's sorcery. You're a witchcraft or warlock. It was me, Melissa Yisrael, and there was another sister out there. I'm not going to say her name. If she wants to say her name, I'll let her reveal herself to you all. We placed that witness stone. That was righteous divination. And guess what? Ever since we placed that stone in Washington, D.C., all hell has been breaking loose. You know why? Because that was righteous divination. Do you know how many people have been brutally killed since we placed that stone? Do you know how many the government shutdown has popped off since we placed that stone? Welfare, EBT, SNAP benefits have went away since we placed that stone. Since we placed that stone, now all of a sudden 3-Eye Atlas is getting ready to show up soon. All other kind of signs and wonders in the heaven. Since we placed that stone, us placing that stone in Washington, D.C. triggered something in the invisible world because we were performing righteous divination. And that stone that we placed, not just a regular rock, we got that stone from the Keystone State, Pennsylvania. Why you think they call Pennsylvania the Keystone State? There's something special about the mountains of Pennsylvania. That's why we grabbed that witness stone from the Keystone State. I'm talking to somebody out there right now, and that was divination that we did. And look at the results. 2 days after we placed that stone right here in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump bought out the National Guard, the FBI, the CIA, bought them all right here to Washington, D.C., where we placed that stone at. And you want to think that's a coincidence? I'm telling you, no. That's a result of us doing righteous divination. And we did it in the name of Yah only. All hell has been breaking loose ever since. Now they talking about aliens possibly could be showing up. Whether you believe it or not, whether it's true or not, people are afraid. Since we placed that stone, something got triggered. Because that was divination that we did on the righteous side. And look at the fallout. Look at everything that's been happening on planet Earth in America since we did that. It's directly correlated to us placing that stone. All hell is breaking loose since that stone has been placed. Cannot make none of this up. I hope that somebody out there was edified by this live stream, even though it's only 4 people in here right now, because this is not for everybody. Not everybody is going to have the kind of power that we are looking for. Not everybody wants to connect to the Most High the way we want to. Most of our people are terrified to connect to the Most High. Sorcery, witchcraft, yeah, okay. You wait until the grid goes out. Wait until the power goes out. Wait until maybe you get surrounded by zombies. I'm talking literal zombies, giants. You are going to wish and hope that you got a Hebrew Israelite around you who knows how to perform righteous divination. Because you're going to want somebody to save your ass. Trust me, that day is coming. You're going to hope and pray. You're going to wish that there was a Hebrew near you who knew how to perform divination righteously. Because you're going to be afraid you're getting ready to die. And the only way out, you're going to need somebody to perform a miracle. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to believe in divination all of a sudden. Von Seal Sanders says there is no such thing as coincidences or accidents or mishaps. Say it again, sis. I'm going to read this again for all the Hebrews in the back. Y'all listen to Sister Von Seal Sanders. There is no such thing as coincidences or accidents or mishaps. Our sovereign is awakening us and realigning us to what righteously belongs to us. Hey, Sister Von Seal Sanders, you put that so eloquently. And it's so very true. And people are going to hate this sister for saying something like that. Our people are so gone. They can't conceive something like that, Sister Von Seal. But all praises to the Most High God. You can conceive it because the Most High God wants you to. All praises to the Most High God for revealing himself to us in ways that he has not in recent times. What a time to be alive, family. I love each and every one of y'all out there. I hope that somebody was edified by this live stream. Like this video, leave your comments, share this video, subscribe to the channel. If the Most High God puts it on your heart, you can donate. In the video description, there's a link for you. What a time to be alive. I hope you got your seatbelts on, your spiritual seatbelts, and get your popcorn ready, because you in for one hell of a time. Tav X, Hebrews, purity and becoming one. I love all of y'all. Sister Von Seal Sanders says, all praises to the Most High. Thank you, brother. I thank you, sister, and I thank all of y'all for being here. It was good to see you, Sister Von Seal, Brother Chris Charles, King David, Sister Jessie Goodwin, okay? Brother Chief, Melissa Israel. It was so very good to see y'all. Lynn Israel. It was good to see all of y'all here as always. May the Most High be with all of y'all. And may you be healthy, strong, and prosperous in all your ways. The next time I come back on here to live stream, whether that's Monday or Wednesday, I don't know yet. But whatever one it is, we will finish the rest of chapter 7. casting lots. I'm out, fam.